Andru Edwards. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you doing?
Doing great. I'm very excited. This is the first time we've ever had a guest in the show. In fact, mutually, if you want to show the wholeness of this studio at this point, you can
so
kind of get a sense. First ever that we've had in-studio guests.
Okay.
So very exciting for me. Just for some context for our audience, for those who don't know Andru, you are a creator's creator is the way I think about you. You're the type of person who's been around for a while. You've gone through all sorts of changes in the platforms, all changes in the social space. You're a lot like Benji that way, which is one of the reasons I'm excited to have you on. Just for some base numbers, and I hate to bully you down to just these, but 613,000 on YouTube, 219K on IG, 200K on TikTok, and you dropped an app, which we're going to talk about soon. But, for those who watch this show, you probably remember that Benji got to go to WrestleMania, and maybe you remember that it was Andru who invited him. And I hear that there's a story that happened between the two of you.
There's a lot of stories at WrestleMania.
I would love to hear them.
Yeah, and I want to give some backstory to our relationship because Andru was one of the first creators in Washington State that I met. Actually, one of the first creators I ever met, period.
I didn't know that.
And he's got so many cool stories. Like the first time I really approached him and said hi, he was wearing the gold Apple Watch, and he said that they had sent that to him.
No way!
Whoa, crazy!
That is sick.
But I wanted to add to his resume.
Yes.
The thing that is amazing about Andru is the fact that he's not only been doing this for 2 decades legit. And he's got some amazing relationships. I feel like I would like to be considered in one of those amazing relationships just because we go way back. But the fact that he's worked with so many brands across all those years, very consistent, travels more than anybody I know, right? And that's because he's doing things and doing amazing things. And one of those things is hosting YouTube Creator Collective events. And that's where YouTube is hosting in different markets these get-togethers for creators. He's actually wearing the jacket that him and I was gifted because we're both hosts.
Ooh.
What's funny is he's done way more than me, but I was the one that introduced him to the Creator Collective, right?
That's correct.
So he's taken it to another. Now, we've never talked about this, but it was always a friendly competition in a way, right? Like he's doing things in South by Southwest. He did it in Vegas. I'm doing things in Seattle. I've done things in New York City. He just had to top it all off because one of the things that a lot of people don't know about Andru is he used to be a wrestler in professional wrestling.
Wow.
So naturally, I'm a fan. When I was a kid, he's, I would say, a super fan. And WrestleMania is the biggest event for WWE. He got to host the first creator collective in correspondence with WrestleMania this year in Las Vegas.
It is.
And it was already so good. He's the first creator I ever told, I'm legit jealous that you get to host this thing. Because he gets to invite all these creators, specifically from YouTube, but even outside platforms, to get together and hang out at WrestleMania, the biggest event, the Super Bowl for that industry and for that, sport. Well, fast forward 2 weeks afterwards, he goes, hey, Benji, do you want to go to Vegas and go to WrestleMania? Now, I don't do a lot of guy trips at all, right? They're all business trips where I hang out with guys I work with or I want to, connect with. So this was purely going to be just like me going without Judy and the kids, and Judy didn't even hesitate. So we go there. Wow. I go there, right? Now, in a way, it was business because it revolves around YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
YouTube Creator Collective. But the reason I'm telling the story isn't just that. We talked about it earlier, and I was honored. It's like my childhood nostalgia came out. But one of the things at WrestleMania is the exhibition. It's where all the vendors, all the different brands and businesses, just like any kind of industry, get together and they get to exhibit what their services or product is. Like, for example, the company that makes all the WWE Championship belts, they were there, had them all on display. But there was this one stand.
WWE World is what this thing is called.
Okay, caught.
Yeah.
See, he's
WWE
even
World.
teaching me. I've been so out of the game. WWE World, okay? One of the exhibits is so there's these punching bags, right? And there's ones that are shaped like a human figure with an actual head on it, and we call them Bob.
Oh,
so in the martial arts world, because I'm in Taekwondo, there's an actual name for that guy.
So this is a thing.
Okay. Bob is the thing that you beat up and you just practice on. So instead of punching a bag, you have a human figure. So you can get the ribs, you can get the shoulders, the neck, or the face, okay? This business they actually put sensors on Bob so they can measure the velocity and the intensity of your hit.
Does he say ow when you kick him?
No, but it's very techy, and they have a number, and they had like a top 10 score leaderboard. Okay,
Wow.
and with Stephanie McMahon was
Stephanie
number
McMahon
one.
was unofficially number one because it's basically her big thing was she would slap people all the time. So it's like, she's going to be number one. Can you slap like Stephanie?
Yes.
So obviously no one's going to be able to slap like Stephanie in the real world because her score would be like 5 times bigger than what you could actually get.
So it's like a fun exhibit, but it's
Yeah.
got like real world, like demand, anchoring. Okay, they actually reached out to me afterwards. They want to send me one of those. Okay,
Yes.
That'd be
so,
cool.
of course, me being a third-degree black belt in
Yes,
Taekwondo,
sir.
I'm thinking, yo, I got this. You know, I knew Andrew was gonna throw down, and we got to do it. Probably like one of the first people to do it because
Yeah,
no one
we were one of the
lined
first,
up
yeah.
because we got to go early because of
Before it even
YouTube
opened.
Creator Collective. Yeah,
that makes sense.
And WrestleMania invited us, so I go, and I'm like worked up. The adrenaline's running, right? And I'm thinking, I've done this a million times. Like, if for reals, I'm gonna get it. So the score, you know, like starts at 0, goes up to like a couple hundred, but most people get like 60, maybe
Yeah.
70.
Okay.
I got 72.
Okay.
So I was kind of bummed out, but it's a good
Above
score.
average,
It
yeah.
was better
Above
than most of the other people. Andrew goes up there. Okay. By the way, Andrew's hyped up too, but he's
am.
not like overly cocky. He's just like, you know, pretty chill about it.
I don't know what I'm doing.
But the wrestler came out.
Oh, okay.
Not only did you get 150,
I think it was like a 170.
170.
No
I think
way.
so.
He was number one on the leaderboard.
Oh my God, no
And
way.
he kept that the whole time that we were there. Nobody
Yes.
came even close. It was almost as if it was a glitch, but it wasn't. Because they also recorded a slow motion. That I got it on camera. They got it on camera. Because that's the thing. You get to record a slow motion. They gift it to you or whatever, which they never ended up sending, right? Or
Right.
did you get
right.
it?
No.
Okay. But I did get on camera. It was intense. Everyone was like, whoa, right? And so that's why I kind of give him crap for it because like I've kind of held it against him that he literally whooped my butt at that competition. But the wrestler came out and I'd never seen that. It was pretty cool to see him slap the shit out of Bob, okay?
What's crazy though is, so you got a recording of me and I hit it so hard that I almost fell down.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah,
I almost
yeah.
embarrassed myself. So I
played
thought
it
it was
off cool, though.
I
You
tried
played
to
it
be
off
cool,
cool.
but it's like you could see me trip a little bit and almost fall.
But being number one on the leaderboard
yes,
is the coolest thing.
that's
ever.
cool. And they said, because this was day 2, they were like, no, that leaderboard's for the whole time. So you just beat everybody from the 8 hours of yesterday that we were
No
doing this
way.
plus today. I'm like, all right.
That was legit. Anyways,
is
that's
awesome.
my story about Andru Edwards, how I met him, and why I hate his guts secretly. So, anyways, no, good to have you here,
Yeah,
and I'm
absolutely.
excited because we've honestly been waiting a month to talk to you.
Yeah.
because there's so many topics we feel like you could probably like comment on, maybe even like educate us on, and we're just excited to get into the conversation today.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that you talk about there is like putting your all into something, right? You put
Yeah,
your whole
yeah,
body
yeah.
into it. And I used to play hockey. I understand that you got to use your body to get the full effort in there, right? So stumbling, that makes a lot of sense. But we were kind of chatting before the show a little bit, and one of the things that you guys were mentioning was about the phenomenon of the new era of creators that are
Yes.
coming up right now, and the history of creators like YouTube are coming up with the platform at the very beginning. And I want to get into that. But before that, I actually want to talk to you a little bit more about the app that we mentioned before, because
yeah.
I feel like if you're putting all of yourself into something, this maybe is a good example. And so Neutral, if you can pull up the website right here, it's at studio.com/Andru, Andru, right? And right here, walk us through what this is.
Yeah. So basically, I have been, like you said, I've been doing this for over 20 years. And I feel like one of the things that has been kind of central to my growth is I always try to pay attention and be a student. I never try to feel like, oh, I got this. I know everything, right? Because then you get stuck.
Yes.
Get left behind,
Yeah.
really.
So there's always something new. There's always something different. Like some of the things that my peers teased me about getting on, for example, would be Instagram when it started. TikTok.
Are you looking at him for a reason?
No. I'm just, we're just having a
No, I
conversation.
understand.
No, TikTok, everybody, that's for little girls dancing. What are you putting tech video on TikTok? Like, it's like, I always try to see, like, hey, you said you were into hockey. I'm trying to see where the puck is going, okay? Not where it is. So AI has been coming up over the past few years, obviously, and it's here to stay. Like, this is a world-changing technology. This is like the smartphone. This is like 4G. This is not something that's like the internet. It's not something that you're going to get annoyed by. Is going to go away. It's not a fad.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think, like, I've seen so many creators using AI in a way that I would say is like, it's just not right because you're losing yourself. They'll kind of use AI to replace the most important part, which is your voice and your thoughts. And so I was trying to think, like, how can I help creators use AI the way I think it should be used?
Yeah.
The way that it augments what you do, but keeps you at the center of everything. And as you can see on the headline, create content people actually want to watch.
Yeah.
And my first headline was, it was a little too long, but it was create content people actually want to watch without losing your voice. And so what I built here is it uses AI to help you come up with things, to help you, like, what are some good ideas for my next piece of content? Okay, now what is my particular angle here?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's your partner, it's your brainstormer, it is your advice giver, but it's not your script writer.
Yeah.
It's not taking the place of the most important part, which is you.
Yeah.
It's almost as if you hired an employee who knows everything about making content. And this is for people who do podcasting, who do social, who do short form, who do long form, who write newsletters. It's not just if you're a long form YouTube creator. It's about the psychology of getting people to want to consume your content and then want to engage with your content, no matter what kind of content it is that you make.
I love that. And actually, the way that you described it to me too was that it sort of is like what you would, tell me if this is right, what you would be like as a coach.
Yes.
For someone who's coming up as a creator and taking all of your experience over the last, however many years, and turning it into something that is replicable using AI to kind of replicate your voice. Now, obviously, when we want to put you on, we love that you're doing this and we want to showcase this on our show. But I wanted to talk about this on the show because Benji has been talking to me about doing something like this for
interesting
almost a year, 3 years, something like that.
4 years really is when I first came up with it, because when AI first started coming on the scene in a big way, right? LLMs, language learning models, basically ChatGPT.
Large language models.
Yeah, large language. See, I don't even know. I'm amateur hour over here. I just have the ideas, right? I don't know what's going on. But in the beginning, ChatGPT in its first phase was very much just like it answers your questions.
Yes.
But we kind of understood where it was going. But I saw what you saw in the very beginning was like, the problem with this is it's trying to answer all the questions rather than just answering certain types of questions around certain like industries, professions, or in our case, like the creator economy or being a creator. So my original idea was, you know what? I get DMs and text messages and phone calls all the time from all kinds of creators, friends of mine that are creators, brand new, creators just starting out and everything in between. And I feel like I can answer just about everything when it comes to basic philosophy and principles of starting, growing, and creating a successful creator business. This is one of the reasons why I'm friends with you, because you're out there in the innovative world of like what's next or whatever. And so that's why I value our relationships. We're both helping each other. But when it comes to wisdom, right? I want to build this app that just does the answering for me. Now, I 100% agree with you. The number one mistake everybody makes is they think that it's going to be everything for you and replace everything you're doing when that's the whole point of a creator and what makes you special to the audience, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that there's nothing wrong with creating a script, but the script should be more of a reference for the direction you're going, but it doesn't replace, like you said, your voice and what you want to say, literally.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's creating the LLM for creators that really focuses on that, and it's not trying to answer any science questions or what are the geopolitics going on in the world right now. It's just strictly. And so then when I talk to the creators I help right now, said, hey, answer through this, and you'll get answers from me with the help of my AI. And that was the original idea, literally 4 years ago. And everything we do is pointing towards that. So it's kind of cool that today you show up in this new format show and you're like, yeah, I got the app. It's funny. It's awesome. What took me 4 years is to even like really get going. You probably been working on it for a while, but still like faster than us.
Yeah, it took me probably, well, and actually this kind of goes into what we were just talking about. So what I did not do is like, this isn't an API for ChatGPT or Claude that just answers creators' questions and that I just took their stuff and just wrapped it up.
Right.
No, every single topic that it answers is powered by, so I wrote PDFs of here's how to write a good hook. Here's how to write a script. Here's how to do a great podcast. Here's how to get people interested in like your social content. So I wrote documents about every single thing. So when it's answering off of my knowledge, not world knowledge, which I'm not saying anything wrong with world knowledge, but if I'm going to tell you, like, you basically have my brain in your hand, you literally have my brain in your hand because it's answering off of my knowledge. I didn't like have AI come up with the answers for itself, if that makes sense.
And your experiences.
Yes.
All those years we talked about. And that's exactly what I'm doing too. I'm inputting into my database right now what I want it to know so it doesn't feed off of somebody else's, because context really matters. Absolutely. When it comes to AI,
absolutely.
What is
that's
the
most important thing?
That's the most important thing. Number one thing that people tell you about prompts is give it context.
Yes.
Don't lack the details. Be as specific as possible. So when I was hearing that about prompts early on, I go, why is that? Because the AI is still like a dumb kid, right? Like it's not intelligent enough.
Generic.
Yeah, it's very generic. So when it hallucinates, it might be giving you the right answer, but for the wrong person.
I want to speak a little bit about that background too, because when we first met a couple of years ago now at this point, beyond the fact that your content is something that I've admired for a long time, one of the things that I learned about you personally was the stuff about the wrestling, but B, actually about your blogging background, which I didn't realize before as well. And so, I really, when Benji mentioned that when we were meeting up that first time, I really started churning on that in the back of my head. And I was like, I feel like the reason Andru has had so much staying power is because you came from those early days of the internet as a whole and made that jump. Now, we talk about that as the beginning of YouTube as a whole, right? That like a lot of bloggers became YouTubers because their audience that they had harnessed through the internet and blogs early on eventually wanted to see them or have them talk about things. And it was just an easy place to host videos. Well, lo and behold, time goes on and all of a sudden, people actually are discovering you through YouTube more than even your blog in the first place. First of all, I'm wondering if that was your experience early on, but also how do those experiences in blogging inform your YouTube stuff today? And then also, how does that play into this app that you created, like in terms of your perspective?
That's a very astute observation. And you reminded me of something. So, Benji, remember when I told you about how being a wrestler helped me in YouTube content
First
creation?
interview I ever did of you, you said that helped you to kind of understand how you're going to perform or engage with the audience.
Wow. Yes. And also being able to do things on the fly. So as you saw, you go there and it's like you're in this little 20 by 20 ring surrounded by thousands of people. You say something and you mess up, you can't be like, hey, can we do another take? It's just not a thing. You can't do that. So you have to learn how to, I messed up, but I have to keep the show going, right? That was one of the main things. But when you were talking about blogging, you brought me back to when I was younger. And I never even made this connection until you were talking just now.
Okay.
When I was 14, I started my first business.
Okay.
Here's what I would do. Are you ready for this? You're gonna think this is crazy. I got on AOL. And I'm mind blown, okay? So the reason I'm into consumer electronics now, I mean, I've been since I was a little kid, but like, I have never gotten jaded. I've never gotten burnt out because I'm still mind blown by technology, even to this day. The fact that I can make a face-to-face phone call with anyone on earth from this, like, it blows my mind. So I'm on AOL. I'm like, I can talk to anybody, anywhere. This is crazy. I'm gonna start a business. Here's my business. It was wrestling related. People created characters, almost like a Pokemon, But I would send them an email, a form to fill out. Name, height, weight, what does he look like, what's your finishing move, all this stuff, right? And then they would have to, in the mail, send me cash.
No way.
Like $5 or $10 every month, okay? My parents were like, what's all this cash coming in? And I had all these different people. So let's say I had like 40 people send me these little wrestler bios. And every week, I would type out a script to a wrestling show. And here's how it would work. I would email, okay, Benji, you're fighting Austin's guy. Your guy's versus your guy. And I'm basically giving you homework. You need to send me your speech and your speech by Thursday. And I'm going to insert them into the show. And you guys are going to talk trash to each other.
Crazy.
And then I write up the match. Literally, it's like if you're listening to the commentary, I'm just typing the commentary. And every week I would have the full show script, and I would send it out to everybody who's, on my roster or whatever. And I would do this every week after school. And I loved it so much. I'm literally like, think about this. Like, I'm doing like a term paper. Or
Yes.
something. Like, I'm writing like 25, 30 pages of content every week. I'm like organizing people. Give me your promo. Get me your promo. But I loved it so much. And cash is coming in the mail, by the way. That turned into my blog. Like, because I learned everything about blogging from doing that.
That is amazing.
And again, I started that when I was like 15, and then my blog started when I was like 20. So it's so weird, like when you're a teenager, how far away turning 20 feels. It feels like a whole different life. No, it was like 5 years later.
Yeah.
and I'm starting my blog. And the reason for the blog was, again, I'm into tech. I'm not doing this wrestling thing anymore, but I loved writing. I was always like, English was my favorite subject, like by far. And I just wanted to share my love somehow on the internet because I love just being online. 9 months later, it's my full-time job because I didn't realize it was a brand deal. We just didn't call them that at the time. I was relying on Google AdSense, which is what most creators today, I can't wait to get monetized so I can get Google AdSense. So I was relying on Google AdSense for my blog, making, $500, $600 a month.
Can you tell us the year of this?
We're talking about 2004.
Yeah.
2004. 9 months later, a company reaches out and, hey, we want to put a banner ad on your blog. We would love to pay you $3,000 for 1 month of putting this banner ad. And I'm like, wait a minute. I can work directly with companies? Because I thought I just worked with Google, and then Google finds the ads, and that's it.
You're only 20, though, right?
Yeah.
You don't know
Well, no,
anything.
at 2004, I'm 23.
23.
So I'm like, wait a minute. If I can work directly with brands, instead of having Google be my in-between middleman, I don't even know what they're keeping.
Yeah.
Right? This can be big. So that led to me quitting my real job and being like, I'm going all in on content creation. Now, here's where we talk about the changes in the industry.
Yeah.
My blog was so successful. Like, I was making tens of thousands of dollars each month just by writing about consumer electronics, which to me felt, and still feels to this day, ridiculous. It's like the best thing in the world. Companies start noticing, hey, we want to buy your blog, right? Big companies.
Wow.
My competitors, Engadget, Gizmodo, like they're getting bought up by these big companies. And I was friends with all these other journalists, but what happened was they would get bought up by a big company like Condé Nast or whatever.
Already know where this is going.
And it's like they go from a staff of 1 to 2 people to 15 overnight.
Yep.
And now it's like I can't compete with the output.
Yeah.
I could compete before they got bought. We were all independent. We were all doing our thing. But I can't compete with the output of 15 people in a day. So that's where it becomes, first, I'm launching a podcast. No one was doing podcasts. Apple wasn't doing podcasts yet. I'm launching a podcast because that is going to give me a different medium for people when you're in the car, when you can't be reading. Anytime you can't have your eyes on something, when you're busy, you can still listen. Okay, I'm going to start this podcast. I started my podcast 2005.
Wow.
I was one of the first podcasts when Apple launched because they needed podcasts and there weren't a lot of them. So I was like featured in the iTunes store. Then a year later, it was like, okay, the podcast is cool, but it's not like moving the needle in a way for me to compete with all the other blogs. It's not doing that. So 2006, January, that's where I was like, I'm jumping into video. CES, 2006. And YouTube, no, there was no YouTube. Actually, I put all my eggs in blip.tv.
I remember blip.tv actually.
Awesome. I was like, this is where don't go with YouTube area, because YouTube had put this clause in their terms of service that I was not happy about, which was, we can use your content in any way we see fit. And so what that meant to me was, hey, YouTube can make a top 10 worst video creators and just put your video there if they felt like it, right? Because you gave them the license to do so. So I was like, you know what? YouTube's not the place to be. No one joined that. So I'm hosting my own videos that I'm using blip.tv, and then eventually Blip goes out, and I'm like, okay, well, YouTube is the place where, you know, Lazy Sunday comes out and everybody's on YouTube now. And so I'm thinking what you said. This is free web hosting for my videos because my video hosting was very expensive to have my own server. I didn't even look at comments. Actually, I would upload a video and then take the embed code so that it can go at the top of my blog post.
Of course.
That was what YouTube was for me.
Yeah.
I was still like in the blog
gosh,
mindset.
I remember that.
Yeah.
The embed code.
Yes, I was in the mindset of, I need to get people to my blog, not to my YouTube channel. Like, I go to YouTube, I upload a video, grab the embed code, and I never go back to YouTube again until it's time to upload another video. I don't watch YouTube. I don't respond to comments. Like, I'm not paying attention to that. It was only after 1 year later, CES 2007, where I was recognized as having the most video content of any outlet. CBS, anybody.
Interesting.
Because what I did was, you've been to CES. Have you been?
Yeah, I've never been. No.
Okay. But you've seen.
I've seen.
All right. So it is a consumer electronics conference where there's just huge booth after booth after booth after booth, several football fields large. What I did that year was literally go to a booth with my microphone, find someone representing. What are you guys talking about today? What are you guys showing off this year? Talk to them for like 5 minutes, go to the next booth. Go to the next booth. And that's just what I did. Like booth. And I hired someone to, we were recording on tape.
Wow.
We were recording on mini tapes.
Oh, yeah.
So
With FireWire.
What year is this?
2007.
That's
Crazy.
So when the tape got full, take the tape, bring this to the editor at the hotel, and put another tape in. So I had someone running tapes all day, and videos were being edited all day, and we're just shooting until that was the year Apple crashed CES by announcing the iPhone, the first one.
Oh,
and
no way.
Yes, mid CES, Apple announced the iPhone and stole all the thunder. But that was when it was like, the reason I did that was, if I say New York Post, New York Times, LA Times, whatever, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. People Magazine, Time Magazine, all these things you know. If I were to say the name, and I can't because I don't know it, if I were to say the name of the top journalist at each of these different places, and I didn't tell you whether, if I just said, hey, do you know so-and-so? You'd probably be like, who's that? Right? Even if you've read their work weekly or daily, you'd probably be like, no, who is that? And so that occurred to me was like, I'm shuffling people to my blog, which was gearlive.com. I still do the blog. But I was getting people acquainted with the brand name and not my name. And I realized, no, I need people to know my name. Not just the viewers. I need the companies to know my name. I need Apple to know my name. I need the viewer to know my name, right? I need the advertisers to know my name, not the brand name. And that was the start of why I went all in on video, because I had long-term plans and long-term vision, but in order for it to be successful, I needed people to know me and know who I was, what I stood for, what my voice was.
What a great story.
My gosh. Better than my WrestleMania story.
And I mean, let me bring this up though, because the reason I even ask you about that is because I have to imagine that you really honed your voice. Well, now I know even before Gear Live, right? Gear Live, is that the correct name?
Yes.
Gear Live. And it was happening when you were doing it in your first business ever, right?
Yeah.
You were honing your voice with that writing. You happen to take that voice, and now I also know at the same time with your name, put it front and center on your YouTube channel, and that connection, like you said, between you and the audience, that the fact that they know your name and not the blog's name was indispensable. And I have to imagine that all of that brings you back to this moment where you're launching this studio.com app, right? Where you are saying, listen, learn from me. I think now probably it's conventional wisdom to like use your name in your profile, but I think it's so easy to forget the most important piece of that is not just your name, it's your voice as well, which is what you're saying, right?
Yes. And that was kind of like really the whole point is I know the struggles of a creator at every level and on every platform. I know the struggle of like what it is to try to succeed on TikTok and in short form versus on Instagram, where not only are there reels, but there's, carousels and regular posts and story. Like I know all these struggles and I have coached people through them. And it was just like, kind of like what you said. It's like, I get hit up all the time. It's impossible to answer everything.
Yes.
And I also kind of feel, I guess, honestly, like bad. Like sometimes the mindset is, I'm so busy. I don't have time to answer 30 people about this when it's, honestly, I have things that I have to do to make money.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
And so I put this together, again, using it's like literally taking my brain and putting it into an app. But it's like proactive. This is the best part of the app. It's proactive. So like every morning you're going to get a notification like, here's what you said you were going to work on today, or here's the series you wanted to do. Let's work on it. That is
cool.
So it's not it's not a chatbot app. There is a chatbot in it, but it keeps you on task. It helps you brainstorm what you want to do next. It keeps your calendar. Not anything, because I still have more stuff to add to it, but a lot of the things that make creators tick and stay like focused is what I built in there, including stress management. So like it even ties into your Apple Health. So if it's like, you were
That's
stressed,
amazing.
you didn't get good sleep yesterday, or your stress level was up, you might need to because that's what happens to me. Like,
Totally.
I'm working all the time. It's like, man, I got terrible sleep last night because I was up until 2 a.m. scripting something, and I never paid attention to it.
Or thought like it wouldn't have any consequences.
Right, has no consequence. I'm Superman, right? Has no consequence. But when you can see the pattern over time, it's like, oh, like I haven't really, my output has changed because I haven't been sleeping well. I've been so stressed, or I've been traveling, and I didn't think I had jet lag, but obviously I do. So yeah, that's really it. Is like, how can I answer everybody?
Yes.
Without it being like in my DMs or in person.
I love it. Studio.com/Andru. That's again ANDRU. Make sure you check it out. I'm excited to check it out after the show. Actually,
I'm going to use it.
Yeah, seriously. Like Benji said, we have saved a ton of topics for you because there's a lot of topics we cover on the show, and there's just some of them that I'm like, okay, that's too perfect to do without Andru on the show since we knew you were coming on. And so, I even maybe we'll even put some of these to bed because there's some ones that I think are the ends of some arcs that we started like 6 months ago to a year ago. But I did want to start with this one, which is that for several months, we've been tracking the availability of the Osmo Pocket 4 in the US. And what we discovered is that in early April, it seemed like DJI had the necessary authorization to launch the Osmo Pocket 4 here. Now, what we found out is that about a month ago, DJI launches the Osmo Pocket 4. And what we ended up realizing is that they would not be selling it in the US.
Correct.
And so I thought that this was a very good chance to bring up a comment from one of our friends of the show, Doc Rock, who says this.
I love this guy.
The Osmo Pocket 4 is not a radio device, so it doesn't fit the block anyway. They will be at B&H and Best Buy within the next month or so, just like the DJI Nano, DJI 360, and DJI Osmo Action 6. They all came to us, I think, to the US about 45 days later. And then he goes on and talks about some of the other things we talked about in this video. I want to recap what's happened really quick. And this is one of the examples I wanted to talk about with you on the show, which is that here's the recap. Back in December, it was clear that DJI would be part of a ban on foreign drone companies and other technology makers in the US. There was some reporting at the time from the new camera that DJI had gotten the Pocket 4 approved before the ban, but not the Pocket 4 Pro. And this continued to be the beat up until the launch, which I think was April 16th. It was mid-April, basically about a month ago. Now, after the launch, people started to realize and get quotes from DJI that the Pocket 4 did not have approval. And I wanted to read one of those quotes here. It says, "This shift follows a distinct language from the change in DJI regarding product availability. Previously, DJI stated that its products wouldn't be quote unquote officially available through its online channels. Today, the wording is a lot more specific. Quote, the Osmo Pocket 4 will not be available in the US market as the application for authorization is still pending."
Are you saying that Doc Rock was wrong?
Well, I'm saying that there's a big question mark because there actually is another layer to this story, which is that right here, from Drone XL, they said that DJI tells Ninth Circuit 25 unreleased products are now in regulatory limbo worth $1.56 billion at stake in 2026. So they have submitted a complaint to the Ninth Circuit and have basically said, listen, what happened here is very weird, and honestly, it's bad for everybody involved. Let's make this thing work. So there's a possibility here, but to your point about Doc Rock maybe not having the full picture, I think that there is a possibility that it will be available in the US eventually, but it's reliant on the courts. In the past, that wasn't the case, right? In the past, it was just that there was a delay and there was a specific channels that it had to go through. They couldn't sell it directly from their website. They could sell it through Best Buy, et cetera. But in this case, they are not able to sell it at all altogether unless this goes through the courts. Now, one more thing before we get into the details here, which is that it turns out that back in March, there was a very small report from a DC Telecom law firm that closely tracks FCC proceedings. And here's what they said. FCC drone ban update roundup, first conditional approvals, a limited waiver, quiet revocations, and the first challenges to the ban. Bear with me here. It's a little bit long, but I'm going to explain why this is important. OET, which is the Office of Engineering and Technology of the FCC, quietly revoked certain DJI and Autel authorizations. While previously granted authorizations for equipment continued to be valid, when that equipment is added to the covered list, the FCC has consistently maintained that it has the authority to revoke those grandfathered authorizations. In January 2026, the telecommunication certification bodies and third-party entities that process applications for equipment certifications submit their approvals to the FCC, were informed that OET had revoked certain authorizations granted to drone manufacturers, DJI and Autel, that had been issued shortly before the December 2025 covered list update. DJI and Autel are in the UAS covered list entry by virtue of a separate prohibition on their equipment pursuant to the 2025 Fiscal Year National Defense Authorization Act. To date, the FCC has not issued a public notice or otherwise publicly announced which specific devices were revoked. In summary, and in English, number one, the FCC authorized the Osmo Pocket 4 in December. They had actually gotten the approval. That's how things began. That's why we've been parroting on this show that we thought that it would be available in the US. Number two, the ban was passed on DJI products just a few days after that. Number three, it was quietly revoked around March. Now, we're not sure about this because they're not releasing which items were revoked, but I think given the fact that it's not being sold in the US, it's pretty easy to infer. And number four, they launched the product worldwide, but not in the US in April. So, Doc, this is to you. I think the ban might be more comprehensive than delays in the past, but I set a reminder to check in about a month, so we'll see back at that point. But Andrew, we couldn't get the scheduling to work, but I've been dying to ask you about this. Yeah. It's my understanding that you were at NAB at the time around the launch. Tell me about what the buzz was around it, and tell me about what your thoughts are about this whole saga, which has just been absurd.
It wasn't there.
No buzz.
It wasn't there. That's the thing. Benji was like, "Hey, are you going to see the new Osmo Pocket?" I was like, "I'm going to go take a look." And I went to the DJI booth and it was not there. So, I mean, it's interesting because there was a DJI booth with other products that also are under the ban because it's a full DJI ban, but not the Osmo Pocket 4. So, yeah, I mean, I really don't get what's going on. If I remember correctly, I don't know if this was ever confirmed or not, but when they banned the 3, there was another product that came out that was exactly the same, with just a different brand name on it. Like everything was the same, and everybody was like,
the Extra Muse.
Extra Muse.
Yeah.
Was it ever determined if that was just DJI themselves rebranding their own product to get it into the US, because it was like there was no lawsuit that DJI put on this other company that clearly stole everything about their product. And I just saw that there is a Muse 4 that looks exactly like the Osmo Pocket 4. Now here's the thing, like, I think the Osmo Pocket 3 kind of took the world by storm in a way, right? In a way. I mean, I think most people on the street, if you ask them if they know what an Osmo Pocket 3 is, they'll say, no, what the hell is that, right? But in the content creation space.
Oh, definitely creators.
Right? But here's the thing. When you do something well, other people are going to do something well too, right?
Yeah, very true.
So we have Insta360 with the Luna and Luna Ultra dropping. That, to me, it's like, if you can't get an Osmo Pocket, get that, because that is going to be just as good, if not better.
Sony and Canon are starting to develop a competitor now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you're going to see a lot of these this form factor, right? Just like Apple made the iPhone, and now every company makes it, right? Like, if you go into a phone store, you will see not just the iPhone, but so many other brands there that make smartphones. Now, you might like the iPhone more, which is understandable, but you can get a smartphone that runs all the apps that you like, not from Apple.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I mean here. So it's like, if we can't get the Osmo Pocket 4 in the US, which I do think we will be able to. Now, I'm not saying I understand everything that you just said.
Fair.
Okay. So what I'm about to say might be wrong, but I don't know if it's called white market, but like if DJI sells their own stuff, right? But then there's the gray market, which is we're not allowed to sell it there, but if B&H imports a bunch and they mark it up, that's on them and that's fine. That's what happened with the last one. Now, what I'm saying is I don't know if what you read means that is not allowed either. Is B&H not allowed to import, in bulk from China and then sell, they're the ones selling it. They bought something and they're just reselling what they've purchased? Because if not, then it becomes more tricky. Now you have to import it yourself. And is even that not allowed? Like, am I not allowed to import something from China myself? Like, and why is this even happening?
Yeah, can I add to that?
Why
because
is this happening?
Yes.
You just said in a very elaborate, intelligent way, what I've been saying now for literally 2 months, it doesn't really even matter now. So I have the Pocket 4 here, right? I went to Canon and got it. And I also have the Pocket.
Oh, you have the
Yeah, I got the Pocket 4 and the Pocket 3. We brought it for you to play with since you couldn't get it.
Wait, you went to
NAB.
Canada to get this?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Whether it was illegal or not. But I kind of knew from the beginning without even holding it. Do you see a big difference between these two?
No.
No.
And there's not a big difference between the 3 and 4. There's the 4 Pro that's coming. That will be the difference.
But even then, I don't even think it matters because ultimately, this is what I said about the Pocket 3 that was so great. A guy that was using the Canon G7X Mark II for like 7 years. I didn't even like the Mark III, so we stuck with the Mark II. It was just the perfect vlogging camera. And it's like, why you need to even add to it for the type of content I'm doing, right?
Yes.
When I start using Pocket 3, I would say I probably use it more than almost any creator in the world. I'm definitely top 10, right? Because I've done 400 vlogs now with the 3. Proper, edited, produced, uploaded vlogs to YouTube, okay? I'm an expert on it. It's the form factor that made it so great, in addition to a couple other bells and whistles, like one, the mic connecting directly into the camera, right? Secondly, the fact that it does come with a tripod that so easily fits into the form factor. And, you can collapse it. I put it into my fanny pack. It's all good. So if this isn't changing all those, and it's not adding anything significantly better, what I've been saying is if you can get the Pocket 3 at a cheaper price, which you can't because this isn't available here, just stick with a Pocket 3. And if you already have a Pocket 3, don't think, and this is where like wisdom comes in, don't think the Pocket 4 is going to get you more views.
It's not an upgrade.
It's not an upgrade that's significant enough. I will go out on the limb and say, I don't even think the Pocket 4 will. Because what the Pocket 4 is trying to do now...
Pocket 4 Pro, you mean?
Yeah, Pocket 4 Pro. The reason I say it, it's now trying to get into a league that it shouldn't be in. It's trying to steal from the DSLR people and give them all those other functions. At the end of the day, you just said it. It's the form factor that was such a big game changer. You don't need the 4 or the Pro to do what the 3 is already so good at. And I still use it to this day. Judy, who also liked the G7X, she's like a much more epic vlogger than I am. 4,500 uploads to YouTube now, right? She finally upgraded to the Pocket 3. So she's retiring the camera she's been using for a decade now because now she's familiar and she realizes, wow, this is better. You know what this brings me back to? Remember in 2010, the vlogger camera?
I sure do.
It was a vertical one that a lot of vloggers had.
Flip.
The
flip cam.
And this
That's so crazy.
is almost a throwback to it, except it takes the power of the gimbal from the drone technology. All that being said, I love that you brought this up because you're just confirming kind of what I felt in my gut. Yeah, go ahead. There's nothing like great about these new iterations that if you can't afford it or you can't get it, right, because it's in Canada or not available in the US, that's gonna like make or break you as a creator. Just continue to use what you got. Now the 4 Pro, I'm definitely excited to get, you know, because even this, right? I was like, I don't need the 4, but for reviewing sake, it does make it right? Because people outside of the US or people that were on the embargo list, they have access to it and they're gonna get the views, they're gonna get the attention. That's one reason I got it, to be able to properly review it. But for the average creator, even like the seasoned creator, the thing is this. I know most creators just have this on a shelf somewhere and they're not using it at all. You need to use a camera to make the videos. So a 4 isn't going to make you want to use it more if you're not using the 3.
Yeah. And so what happens a lot of times with products like this is they've been on the market for so long that the chips that go inside of them are no longer available. So one example of this would be actually the Apple Vision Pro. So the first Apple Vision Pro shipped with a Apple M2 chip. And then a couple years later, they released a new model. And the only change is that it has the M5. But like, yes, it is a much better product due to the increased power. But the reason behind it is also Apple does not have any more M2s. They're not going to keep making M2s.
Yes.
Right? This 3-year-old chip, they're not going to keep this on the production line when they need to make new chips. And so if you look at this, you have the Pocket 3, Pocket 4, and you own them both. So this is coming from someone who owns both of them saying the 3 is fine, you don't need the 4. What happens here is same thing. The 3 is a several-year-old product at this point. The stuff that goes inside of it, it doesn't make sense to keep manufacturing.
Not even available.
Right. So they have to make a new model with more modern chips. And that might be the reason for the 4. Now the Pro, and going back to where you said there's not much of a difference, just like the Apple Vision Pro, there's not really much of it. It's faster, but there's not really much of a difference between the two.
Yeah.
It's just there's a new chip in there because that's what's available today. That's what's happening here.
I will say, I'm not telling people to not buy the 4 either. I'm saying with the lack of the 4 or waiting for the Pro, the 3 is just fine. But I agree with you. And I don't know anything about the manufacturing process or like the availability of different microchips. All that seems hella logical to me. Because like even like us, we like the Canon G7X Mark II.
Yep.
Well, guess what? You can't even get that thing. It's like worth $1,000 when you can get a superior camera for like half the price. But we just like everything about it. It's almost like, because of what you just said, they arbitrarily change little things. So it looks like an upgrade or it's new. Yeah. And they've done this to Pocket 4. Some of the things I think are worse. Like a little thing is a joystick. They made it so it doesn't curve downwards. It like curves outwards.
Okay.
So they think it's a better grip. But because it's a better grip, when you take your thumb off of it a certain way, it like clings back versus this one is a softer touch. So it's smoother. Now, the only way you would know that is if you've done this tens of thousands of times. Yeah. Well, that's what I think. Like I got to meet with the Canon engineers, the legit engineers from Japan. They came to VidCon. I was part of these meetings where I got to talk to them about the next G7X Mark III. And in the meeting, I started off by putting in and out the SD card awkwardly for like 60 seconds. I said, I just want you to know how grateful I am that this SD card has worked every single time we've done a vlog every single day for the last 5 years. And I was trying to make a statement like, I know how this camera works and I know what needs to be improved on it. This isn't coming from like amateur hour. That's like a fanboy of Canon. We are legit users, which now I am of DJI, which by the way, if you have a connection with them, hook me up, okay, bro. Because I know this device so well now.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, to answer your questions actually from a little bit ago, it does seem, and part of the reason that it was not, you didn't know the answer to it is because I had not gotten to the part where we answered the question yet. So I get to answer it for you now, which is that it does seem like they're not going to allow those retailers to bulk import them. So we did cover on the show a couple of weeks ago because we knew that Benji wanted to get this. Is it legal for an individual to do it? And the answer is yes.
It is.
So you can individually go, and I think they said the limit was like 3 or something like that. So you can import 3 at a time, but B&H isn't going to make a ton of money by importing three of those. So to me right now, it seems like it is truly locked down for the most part, except for personal use, which means that you can get that. But that being said, I want to hear more about your first impressions of the Osmo Pocket 4. And actually, I want you to play with it a little bit more so I can get your first impressions live on it, if that's okay.
You can turn it on if you want. My first...
Yeah, while he plays with it, can you talk about the live stream you did yesterday?
Yeah, okay. Well, so first off, pound for pound, in terms of the engineering and whatnot, it's just generally the same thing. I mean, if you look at it, it looks the exact same thing. It's what's on the inside, and some of its functions, I think, are definitely going to be better. Now, the quality is definitely better. So I do live streams with my Osmos, right? My Pocket 3s. And they're amazing because they have PTZ camera functions, which is the guy that's producing the show, Nuchily. What's up, man? He can control these. That's him because he can't talk right now. He can control these remotely on the live stream. Well, I used the Pocket 4 yesterday for the first time. Way more crispy.
Really?
Just way more sharp. The colors are bright. It picked up light better. And so I'm already thinking about going to Vancouver again and getting a second one for my live streams alone.
Interesting.
It's totally worth it.
Get 3 more. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know, right? And you want one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Actually, by the way, I did buy one for somebody else because that's like, I'm like becoming like a mule for Pocket 4s, bro. Okay, so I'd say this. If you can't buy 3s anymore, the 4 is worth it because if you can get it, definitely get it. But if you can't get that, the 3 is going to work just fine. The reason it makes sense to get the 4, even if you have to drive up there, it makes sense if you're a border state. You know, because of the exchange rate, it's cheaper.
What?
Yes. It's cheaper to get the Creator Bundle Pocket 4 than it is to get the Creator Bundle Pocket 3 right now on Amazon. Cheaper. Okay. So that's why my friend, who wasn't going to get it, he's like, I'm just going to wait for the Pro. He's like, wait, how much is it? Really? Okay. And I got so I think it's a great camera, just like I thought the Pocket 3 was already a great camera. I'm excited about the Pro, but is it significantly different? No. And in fact, in some ways, I already told you, I kind of miss the feel and ergonomics of this. You can kind of feel the curving of the joystick. Different.
Oh, right? Yeah, it's very different.
They think this gives you more control.
Yeah.
It's the lack of control of the other one that lets you do things smoother with it, right?
Interesting.
It's funny because a joystick is such a crucial part of controlling anything, right? Whether it's like an airplane or a video game. They thought that was an improvement. Again, arbitrary changes to make it upgrade or whatever. I don't know. For me, it could be just my usage. So that's my thoughts. It is crazy how exact same it looks.
Yeah, it's like almost identical, except for some of the details on the outside as well.
Well, like the SD card has a cover on it. It didn't have a cover on it before. There is 2 more buttons, Andrew. I don't know if you noticed this. Sorry to like get in on your space. So the new one has buttons right below the screen, which makes sense because to do the zoom, you had to press the thing, which I didn't even know until you showed it to me a few weeks ago. Now you can do it with an actual analog button.
Oh, cool.
And then the second one is like, it's like, you know, like on the iPhone, they have a smart button that you can change the functionality of it. They have a button now that you can change the function. 1 tap does something, 2 taps does something, 3. That is nice if you want added functions. Is it going to make your YouTube video better and get more views? No. That's me. Ultimately, the reason these cameras are here for us as creators is create videos that get views.
Yes.
Correct.
Unless it actually helps you get more views, it's all chintzy upgrades in my opinion. Unless DJI wants to work with me, then I'll talk positive about them all day.
Any reactions, Andrew?
I mean, it's very similar. I think it's really. I think I made a good point. Actually, I think I made a good point earlier because it's like, I think it's just this needed to be retired because they didn't have the materials for it anymore. So they made something that's almost exactly the same. And you know, there are obviously some upgrades to it, but it's the same thing. You're making a video at this point, right? Like, it's like when people have an iPhone like 16 and are like, I need the 17. It's like for video purposes. I was like, you really don't. Like, your video is gonna be the same. Like, there's not.
Isn't
really
it crazy?
much of a
The
difference.
older you are as a creator and the more seasoned you are, the older your iPhone will be, unless you're a tech person, right? Like, I've met legit creators who have like the iPhone 15
That
still.
was you. That was
yeah,
you,
that was
by the
me.
way, when we went to dinner a few months ago.
I didn't even mean to, right? And then I'm like, I'm excited because I haven't upgraded in 3 years because I know it's not going to make or break your video.
Yeah, that's really it. And so if you're buying, I mean, and this is not a smartphone. This is literally a video making tool. If you already have a video making tool, getting another one is not going to make your videos better because at that point, it's really more about learning, like, what is your eye? What is your style? And that can be conveyed through the same piece of hardware, like changing your style, getting, what is your vision? It's not really about like going from one camera to another that's going to make your vision come out all of a sudden.
I will say one added thing just to give DJI Adapt that I love that I didn't think I was going to love as much: onboard memory.
Really?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that is nice. It's a weird amount, too,
I told
right?
you,
It's
like, I have
137
Yeah.
gigs or something.
Well, I
Yeah.
told you that I have issues taking out this little mini SD. Like, literally, I had an imprint on my thumbnail because of where I was taking it in and out. Well, now that I don't have to do it, as long as I have room on there, I'm good to go. I don't even need the SD card. I thought I was going to always carry the SD card anyways. No, I'm just going to reformat that thing and offload the thing. So
Can you
that
see the Insta360 Luna?
on
Have you heard of that one?
I have, yes.
Pull that up.
Okay,
Pull
yeah,
that up.
here.
Like, because I think this is the thing. People are like
Yeah.
freaking out that they can't get this camera. But there's other cameras that are going to
Totally.
be just
I
as
agree.
good. Insta360 makes great cameras.
yeah.
One example here. Zoom in. Maybe I can pull up an actual article about it.
And
There
don't
you
they
go.
already
Doesn't
have
look
the
right.
Pro out?
It's called the Ultra.
Is it
And
out yet?
It's not out, but it's coming very shortly.
Right, yeah.
Very shortly. So here you can see dual camera. So one is going to be I think it's a 3x zoom.
Form factor
Same form factor.
is the same as a
It's the gimbal.
Pocket.
These guys are good with gimbals as well. So it's like, I guess my point is really like, at this point, it's not about I need to get this specific product. How am I going to get it? And it's really more about this, if this is the form factor you're looking for and you want something more modern than the 3, there will be other options out there that you can get that will be great. That's my main point.
I think that's a great point. And actually, I will say one more thing before we get off this topic, which is that somewhat breaking news, which is that the DJI Pocket 4 Pro, for those who are not in the US, did get an actual official announced launch date. Neutrally, if you want to pull this up on the screen.
Was that today?
Just yesterday, the announcement came out from DJI here that says, see you in Con. So on May 14th, I think. So very soon.
I have one big, bold statement to make about this, though. That's negative.
Ooh.
Part of the reason why I've been able to use this for 3 years now and put it in my fanny pack, bro. I don't even use the case that came with. I just throw it in there. I've dropped it. The durability of this is crazy. So look at that camera head.
Yep.
That is so much weight because there's more glass. There's 2 of them now. And think about how the form factor of the
larger.
Pocket, it's small enough where the body is bigger. So like, look at this.
Yeah.
So look at this, Andrew. I can lay it on the thing and it's kind of just
Doesn't even touch it.
It doesn't even
floats.
touch the table. Well, that is definitely going to be touching or it's going to wobble.
Yeah.
My concern there is that it's going to break easier because a better camera that breaks easier is worse than a amateur camera that never breaks. That's always there for you because warranty, sending it back. I'm still going to buy it. Unless they send it to
Pro.
me. because I am a huge fan of them. And I'm going to review it. But and look, and we're looking at the first images here. That is my one big concern, that it's going to have better functions, better like recording, but it might break.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we know soon.
Are you going to get the Insta360 version and compare?
Yeah, I will compare it. I don't know if I'll personally spend money on it, but like I'll compare when someone else has it.
So again, May 14th will be its unveil date, which is tomorrow. One of the reasons that we are obsessed with the DJI Osmo Pocket is because we do use it for Benji's live streams. And so it's become maybe the most versatile camera that you've ever had before. And the fact that we can use it for live streams, it can become a PTZ camera remotely with our producer, Neutrally. Neutrally, again, you can say hi. The ability to do something like vlogs and the ability for you to just create general social content with it as well is unmatched. But really, the reason that we've been obsessed with it is because of that live streaming feature. We didn't even know that we could do that. And the reason that was unlocked for us was because of today's sponsor, which is Ecamm. Ecamm is your Max Creative Studio. And, just yesterday, you told me that the Osmo Pocket 4 unlocked a new level of quality for your live stream. Tell me about the marriage between the Osmo Pocket 4 and your live stream setup for your kitchen show.
Yeah, well, first off, my live stream setup is really scaled down because of the hardware, but also because of the software. The software lets me use my M5, which is nuts because you used to have to use a desktop and run the whole show. It not only lets me go to multiple platforms that do multiple formats. Like right now, we're going live with a vertical format for YouTube Shorts and a horizontal for classic YouTube, all powered by Ecamm. But I think they're one of the proprietary softwares for being able to use the Pocket 3 or 4 as PTZ cameras. So if you guys don't know, everything I do really live stream wise is run remotely by Neutrally, who's in his, his own studio at his place. And that's awesome. And so to have a remote producer that can run Ecamm and then control the Pocket 3 and Pocket 4 as if he was there, that's mind-blowing because that used to cost a lot more, or do you have to use other cameras? So rather than me having a separate camera to set up, I have my Pocket 3 that's always with me anyways, and I can connect my laptop, which I also always have. And I have a laptop, I have my Pocket 3, and boom, I'm live streaming. So for me, again, when I coach creators, any kind of friction, any kind of complexity is not good. This is why the iPhone 17 Pro is a big deal, because it could be your everything device, right? Not just your camera, but also your computer. You don't need a whole bunch of bells and whistles. You just have to have a backup battery, which you probably have the biggest one on planet Earth because I use it at WrestleMania, right? And it charged both of our phones, my Osmo, his Osmo. It was crazy, okay? But outside of that, you don't need that much. So to really scale it down, that's my live streaming setup using M5, Pocket 3, and Ecamm.
If you're interested in replicating Benji's setup, we have a video that explains the entire map of how we've done it. You can check it out on this channel. Or if you want to jump right into Ecamm, you can see how it works for yourself by starting a free trial at the link in the show notes and use code BenjiTV15 for 15% off your first bill. I always like to highlight that because if you go for the yearly subscription, you get 15% off the first year there. If you only go for the monthly, then you only get 15% off your first month. It's good both ways, but you can save quite a bit of money if you go for that yearly subscription. Again, link in the show notes. Start the trial. Use code BenjiTV15 for 15% off your first month. Thank you so much to Ecamm for creating such an incredible tool and for sponsoring our show. I've got a little bit of a backstory here, and I want to start with this clip in order to get us off to the races. That's it. I know that was pretty comical.
For reals?
This is a very short clip of a Jeopardy episode, and I saw this and I immediately thought, hey, I've got someone who's been on YouTube for a really long time, and we got someone else who's joined, as we now have learned, very far back in time as well.
God, I already feel
Why
like I'm
don't
gonna
we
lose.
test the two of them on their YouTube knowledge early? Now, Neutrally, I want you to come to us because what I'm going to have you guys do is open up your iPhones,
okay,
and then open up the camera, and I'm going to have you join this right here by scanning. I wish I could share this with the audience. In the future, we'll do an interactive version of this. But they are going to do that very short clip which is answer all of the Jeopardy questions
Okay.
that were live there. So is that working for the two of you?
Well, it says I pick a fruit. Or
Yeah, pick a
I'm still
fruit.
loading.
and-
I'm still loading.
Yeah,
Please.
tell me the fruit that you are once you've chosen.
I'm gonna go watermelon.
Wow. That's where I was going. Okay.
Okay, you want me?
No. It's fine.
It's my favorite
fine.
fruit. It's my favorite fruit.
I'm gonna go orange.
I love it.
Go orange.
So, neutrally, while I get this ready, be prepared to bring it live here.
Yep.
What we're going to do
Yeah.
is we're going to go through this competition.
I'm farther from the
Bit.
router though. I feel like
I should have hardwired you
Where
both
is the
in.
right? Yes.
So,
Go ahead and.
here we have our competition. We can bring it up on the screen here. The dollar values are not going to match exactly. You can just double them in your head. Sorry, they're a little bit small. I can make them bigger here. And this is just YouTube back in the day. As you saw, there's only one category. And if for those who don't remember, the way that Jeopardy works is that you choose a category, which is chosen for you in this case, and then you choose a dollar amount. A clue pops up in the form of an answer, and your role is to answer the answer with a question. Okay? The first person to buzz in is the one that will get to answer first. If you get it wrong, you lose that dollar amount, and the other person has a chance to steal.
my
Question.
gosh.
Question.
Please.
In Jeopardy, do you have to allow the host to read the full question before buzzing in?
In this case, I'm going to take whoever buzzes first because I
Okay.
think that's what the app lets you do.
Okay.
Is it pulled up for the both of you?
It's pulled up.
Are we ready?
My
Yes.
buzzer's gray, just FYI.
Okay.
My buzzer's gray.
It'll come up here in just a second, and hopefully this works. I set this all up right before the show. Andrew, since you're the guest on the show,
wow.
I'll give you the privilege of choosing the first dollar amount.
All right. Man, why do I feel so much pressure for this?
I feel pressure too. I haven't watched Jeopardy.
Is this
in a
real
while.
money? Am I going home with cash?
I should have gotten
Am I losing money here?
All right, let's go. I'm gonna just go 300. Let's go.
YouTube back in the day for 300. Here we go. Here's your clue.
YouTube back in the day for 600.
It's 600.
Here's Simone Yetch.
Back in the day on YouTube, I got my name as the queen of building these machines. Not like Wall-E, but malfunctioning ones that badly apply lipstick or wake you up with a slap.
YouTube.
You're welcome to buzz in.
Wait, I didn't hear anything.
We're just supposed to name the channel, right?
She's the queen of building these machines.
Oh. No, I'm not remembering her name. These machines.
These are
I know.
way back.
Answer is.
Oh, what?
Oh, go ahead if you like.
Really bad robots?
Answer is
That's correct.
What is
Okay.
really bad? What are
Rebecca,
really bad
what-
robots?
For a robot?
We know
robots. Andrew is correct.
robots. That's correct.
Okay.
But
as
she
you can
called them
tell.
really bad robots, I believe.
Totally
Okay.
valid. Hey, neutrally can give us the sound effects. That's even better.
I'm
so here
down
we go.
300
Andrew
bucks.
gets his 300.
All right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Feeling
Back
good.
out to the main screen. Oh no. See, I should have learned this beforehand. Continue.
All right.
Andrew, because you answered the question correctly, you get to call the next category
YouTube
number.
back in the day for 200.
200. Here we go.
YouTube back in the day for 400.
A crash course on these colorfully named vlog brothers, Hank and John. Their Brotherhood 2.0 project led to Nerdfighteria fandom.
I'll have the clue up there again. A crash course on these colorfully named brothers.
Led to
Oh,
I think I had Benji first here. Answer is
what are the Vlog Brothers?
I think that is incorrect. Andrew, chance to steal.
Who are the Green Brothers?
Let's see.
Brennan.
Who are the Green Brothers?
Yes, John.
That's what I
Andrew,
was-
correct for
Yay!
200.
I swear they said green in the question almost.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to do better with this next time, guys.
All right. I'm feeling
Andrew.
good now. So I got $500 right now.
You have
you got
500 right now.
Okay. I feel like I'm going to go 400.
400. It's the strategic move. Clue.
YouTube back in the day for 800.
After an awesome face paint job, Zombie Jonathan responded to a question from a local news reporter with these 3 words.
I can play the. Oh, Andrew, I see you buzzed in.
I don't know what the question is, but what are turtles?
Answer is loading.
Brennan.
What is I Love Turtles?
Ding, 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 ding. Andrew
This is gonna be a blowout. Here, yo.
with the solid
This is
lead.
gonna be a blowout.
Oh, I'm not going to make Andrew lose his place here. Andrew, can you
Okay.
clean up?
Man, so we got the 100 and the 500. I feel like if I go to 100, I don't know why I'm revealing my tactics. If I go to 100,
I think you have it in the bag,
I
Andrew.
might give it. You know what? Let's go 100. Let's go 100.
100. Question.
YouTube back in the day for 200.
On Ye Olde YouTube, Charlie, one of these one-horned creatures, gets one-th of his kidneys stoleth.
Going blank. Yo.
I didn't hear anything.
In ye olde YouTube, Charlie, one of these one-horned creatures, gets 1/th of his kidneys stoleth. Andrew buzzed in first.
Oh, I'm accidentally buzzed. But Charlie, what is a finger?
Unfortunately, that's incorrect. Benji, you have a chance to steal.
Come on, Benji.
No, I don't have anything.
Answer is
Rebecca,
Who is Charlie the Unicorn?
that's correct.
Charlie
Wonderful.
the Unicorn. Ring any bells?
No.
All right, continuing on. Final
Last
one.
We've
Last
been
one.
on
500.
For
TikTok
five.
too long.
Clue is
YouTube back in the day for 1,000.
The first ever YouTube video uploaded showed co-founder Javed Karim in front of elephants at this SoCal attraction.
YouTube back in
any answers? Oh, I have Benji in first.
What is the San Diego Zoo?
Answer is
Brennan.
what is the San Diego Zoo?
Correct for
And I know that because I grew up in San Diego.
did he have minus 200 or minus 100?
Out of curiosity, I didn't even hear or see anything. I'm confused. How you?
I know. By the way, we couldn't see any of the videos. We went all off the
Oh, really?
audio.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I can't hear it.
Oh, wait, what?
I haven't heard any of these.
No way.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Everything that I've been guessing has been with no audio.
Well, that is incredible.
Okay,
That's
that's
why I was
funny.
like, how did he just guess that based off?
Oh my gosh. Then you really
That
spanked
is
me then.
incredible. Neutrally, please give Andrew the round of applause that he deserves. And actually, give him a second one, too, because that is...
That's awesome. Well, that's how he got the Green Brothers, because he knows the Vlog Brothers.
Yes.
That's
That
so
makes
funny.
sense.
So there's no excuse
No,
for
you said something like colorful brother. So I was
Yes.
like, oh, green.
Sorry. Like I said, next time we'll do better.
that was fun. At least I got one right.
Yes, good job.
But I don't feel that proud because you didn't even hear it.
Well, Benji made the joke that we have been on TikTok for too long. And of course, one of the topics on this show, since we speak to creators, is the fact that social media has changed quite a bit, right? For us, as YouTubers, one of the things that has changed is that there's been a whole new genre of content that has been unlocked, starting around the COVID era, but even going a little bit further back, which of course is short form content. Now, before we get into the details here, I'm curious, Andrew, from your perspective, when short form came onto the scene, was it a similar story for you about how you made the transition into it, or what was your relationship with short form as you kind of got started?
Yeah, I was on. It's funny because I feel like short form took off when the pandemic happened, but I was on TikTok before it was even called TikTok. It was called Musical.ly before
Really?
they changed their name. And I believe that I have been on there
2015.
10 years now. Yeah, 10 years. I've been on TikTok for a decade. So, wow, the pandemic was 6 years ago. That's wild.
That's wild.
But no, I feel like it's really more for me. My whole thing was always I need to be everywhere that you might want to be. So if you want to be on YouTube, there I am. But if you want to be on X or Twitter at the time, and you just want to, post what you're eating for lunch, you'll find me there talking about the tech news of the day.
Omnipresent.
And yes. So no matter what app, anywhere on your home screen that you go, I'm there. That was kind of my philosophy. And it's like, I would always hear people say, yeah, but that's so much work. Like you have to put in work to be here and here and here. Yes. But I liken it to YouTube is like if, let's say PBS or whatever was like, hey, we're going to give you an hour every night for free and you can do whatever you want with it. You don't have to pay. And we're going to put it on TV. We're going to do all the promotion. All you have to do is put something there. Give us something to put there, right? Cool. Now, if ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS, etc., all came to you with that, and your answer was, "Oh, that sounds like a lot of work." That's how it sounds to me. It's like,
Interesting,
wait a
huh?
minute, all of these different channels are giving you free airtime. All you need to do is give them the content to air, and you're saying, I'd rather just do that for 1 than for 10. No way. I'll be the one that's doing it for all 10 then. I've never been afraid of hard work. So to me, it's like I feel like I have a good skill for noticing when a new platform is going to be a hit. Because there's a lot of platforms that aren't, that come out and they're not a hit.
Yes.
What was the one where it's like once a day you get a notification, take a photo.
Oh yeah.
And then, nah.
Be real. Be real. Yeah.
Be real. Nah. Or even the one where it was, I'm going back to all these pandemic ones now.
Oh yeah. I remember
the one where you were just audio. It was just Clubhouse.
Clubhouse. Yeah.
Right. It's like, I knew it's like, you're not going to be able to listen to a 5-hour-long podcast just casually every single day. But if I'm able to like recognize, I think this is going to be a hit, I'm there.
Interesting.
Like Pinterest, I knew that was going to be a hit for women in particular. And I saw that as a cheat code for, all right, if I'm talking to a brand and there's an opportunity, it makes sense for me to say, oh, and by the way, if you're trying to reach the female demographic, I'm on Pinterest. I get 2 million views a month on Pinterest.
Dang.
How many of my contemporary like content creators that focus on tech are on Pinterest? That's another one I get made fun of for being on until they hear the numbers. Oh, I should be on. Well, yeah, you should. Right? So
Should have.
Yeah, you should have been. Especially now, Pinterest is all short form videos. That's what it is now. So, things evolve. And I feel like it's just a matter of like noticing when there's like a little bit of a groundswell behind something. Don't be scared to jump in. In fact, be one of the first ones there, because you will be what they suggest to new people. When you sign up for like a new service, like, here, follow these people. You'll be listed there.
That's true.
So don't wait for others. Like it really goes back to that old thing. Like when I was a kid, it's like, don't be a follower, be a leader, right? Don't wait until everybody else is on TikTok. Oh, I should get on TikTok now. Now it's okay because other people go do it.
So it does sound like there's like quite a bit of alignment then between those, right? Because you were going to YouTube early for the same sort of reason. Like this became an opportunity for you. I love that we're talking about this because I know Benji went a different path, right? And I wouldn't say that your perspectives are opposed to one another. They're just different in a certain way. So tell me why you went and did not go to the short form platforms in the same way that maybe Andrew did.
Yeah, because Judy and I, we went the opposite direction. And just went all in on long form, right? And so also it comes down to volume. We were doing at the time every single day. So 2015 was probably like the pinnacle of our daily vlog, and we were doing 7 days a week because we were going all in. That was our business model. However, where Andrew and I not only agree, we're the same is I've always taken a certain percentage of our time and our bandwidth and our team's kind of efforts and not only planted the seed, but experimented with other platforms. One of those being Instagram. In 2012, when a kid that you've met that works with me said, Benji, Facebook is dead. He was kind of wrong about that, even though I was like, oh, Facebook's not dead. What do you know? I'm a creator. It's like, no, it's dead. You need to be on Instagram. Well, man, he was 100% right, because a decade later, some of our biggest brand deals have been on there. And because I started so early, I wasn't competing against other people, and we got a huge influence very early on. Same thing with Facebook video. Now, Facebook, again, supposedly based on this guy, was dead, but it wasn't. But guess what they were starting to do? Implement video. We upload a video. So, different business models, same philosophy. With short form, the reason I didn't go that direction, which actually my first video was on Musical.ly too. I have a very cringy video of me doing it right before I was going to interview Gary Vaynerchuk. I was like, dude, if I'm going to go hang out with Gary, I better have something on Musical.ly, because he in 2015 was saying you got to be on Musical.ly. It's going to be a thing before he knew about TikTok, right? I was like, okay, cool. I respect him. He's helped me out. Let me just do this. So there's one video of me somewhere on TikTok of me doing this cringy, like you sing a song. But why didn't I ultimately go all in on it? So the volume was a part of it. Secondly, I knew early on one of the weaknesses of it, because one of the benefits of what we were doing is the connection, the engagement, and the relationships, which I think our friendship speaks to it, builds trust.
Yeah.
The more you connect with somebody and the longer you're connected with them, the more that trust is. So just from the get-go, I was like, how many of these would you have to make to build that trust? I was thinking logically, because I had to like pick and choose, where am I going to commit my time? So I was like, you know what? Even though I actually did believe it was going to get bigger, and it did get way bigger, and this is before the pandemic, and during the pandemic, it like 100x, we definitely missed out on a lot of opportunities. But funny enough, full circle moment, what I thought 10 years ago is so true now, that for the last 5 years, creators who blew up on TikTok and short form have aspired to YouTube, not just because it's an aspirational platform, but it has the thing that they couldn't get on TikTok, which is that long form engagement relationship that builds the trust, that creates the connection that is harder to do. I'm not saying it's impossible to do with short form. However, it is happening now on those things. And you know, like from the Creator Summit I just put on, right, with Austin, that you're the one that called me out and was like, there is long form on vertical videos, right? I loved it, right?
I was just going to ask.
You just didn't know, and now it's becoming more common. So the thing that I thought it was lacking, I believe because of YouTube, they have allowed longer videos, so it's happening there. I'm not saying I was wrong or right. It was just my active decision. I have no regrets on it. However, what's funny, ironically, is we did get into short form, but not on TikTok. It was on Instagram Reels.
But let me talk about something real quick,
Yeah.
because when they're doing long form vlogs, if I had to choose, because I can't do, just from my time, I can't do a long form tech video every single day.
Yeah.
If I could, that's where I would put my time. Okay. I would not be putting as much time into short form if I had the ability to do daily long in my niche.
Interesting.
Because here's the thing, it's like, I think I just look at it, it's all business for me. I'm putting short form content on TikTok, on Instagram, etc., because I know that the 25-year-olds in marketing at these companies are being told, what is this TikTok thing I'm hearing? What is this Instagram thing I'm hearing? It is not an audience play for me. I feel very confident when I say short form views are empty views. Short form views are almost mindless entertainment views. Even if I can give you, I don't think that my short form videos are like mindless entertainment. I feel like I'm sharing, especially in tech, it's a lot easier to be like, let me show you something, let me show you how this works, let me give you a tip. But are you going to remember, even if it was super interesting, are you going to remember the tip that I gave you for 1 minute in your 2-hour scrolling session at the end? No,
Most
probably
likely
not.
no.
Are you even going to remember me? Probably not. But if you hit me on YouTube and you watched top 10 tips for using the iPhone 17 Pro, you probably will remember 1 or 2 of those and remember me.
Maybe for years you'll remember that.
It'll so it's like, I understand when Benji says like, we were focused on this thing, and if I had the ability to also focus on that, I also would have focused on that.
Interesting.
The money is in long form. And again, Benji and I were talking before we started, it's like, we're businessmen.
Yes.
Our goal is not, like, views is a number that I care about only as it pertains to those views turn into this much revenue.
Yes.
I can show you plenty of people who make short form videos that their view number is in the millions.
Crazy.
And their revenue number is literally 0.00.
Wow.
So what did that get you? Like, what is it getting you? What is this large view number getting you? If it's not a brand deal or AdSense payments, if it's not that, what is this large number doing for your business? Is it doing just something for your ego to see, oh, look at the number of people? people are seeing me. I made this comparison on another podcast a few days ago. I'll say it here too. I can make a nice piece of art and put glue on the back of it and go into Times Square and slap it on a building. And 100,000 people will walk by that and see it. I will get the view. They will not know who I am, and they will not remember it at the end of the day, and it will make me no money, right? What's the point? Now, if I just want to be a creator, an artist, and I just want to make this thing, and I just want to put it there, and that makes me feel good, legitimately, that's fine, but it's not a business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not a business. And so I came at Shortform from the business mindset of being present on these platforms that I know marketers are going to want to interface with creators on, not to build an audience. But Benji and Judy, by extension,
Mostly Judy.
with long form content going up daily, that was always where the money was at.
Huh, interesting.
So I wouldn't say you did anything wrong there. You did. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's what you had, like to give to the world is long form content every single day, it doesn't get much better than that.
Interesting, huh? That's good to know. And to me, I think it is interesting because we've talked so much about this transitional period, right? I mean, I think COVID is a good kind of starting point for this short form era to some extent, right? And things have sort of begun to settle out in that world, in my opinion, to some degree. Of course, things are always changing, but it's not quite as explosive of growth as we saw during that COVID era and a little bit onward. And now we're beginning to see this new era emerge, which I've talked about in the past, which we've brought up on the show a ton, which is this TV era. And by that, I mean something beyond just the actual television device itself. I mean the fact that content is being consumed more like a television overall. Like we're coming home and we're scrolling TikTok like we used to come home and watch television. We are coming home, we're turning on YouTube the same way we used to watch television. We're coming home, turning on Netflix the same way we used to watch television, right? And just last week, we were talking about the competition amongst all these. YouTube is uniquely placed amongst these different platforms because it is competing in that short form space, or the vertical space probably is a better way of putting it. And it's competing against these traditional broadcasters and streamers like Netflix and things like that. And one of the big things that we've talked about in terms of strategy, about the way that you bridge those worlds, we were just mentioning this before the show as well, which is clipping, right? Clipping is such a huge way to take your long form content and try and turn it into be in the space where maybe those advertisers are, to your point, Andrew, right? And so I wanted to bring up something that was happening because I find this interesting, that short form as a format is so powerful that even the biggest players out there outside of YouTube are turning on the short form vertical spigot, so to speak. So here's Jay Peters from The Verge. Netflix is starting to roll out a big revamp of its mobile app, and a central feature is a new vertical video feed called Clips, where you scroll through clips of shows, movies, and other Netflix content. The idea of the Clips feed is that it helps you discover new things to watch in a mobile-friendly format. The company started testing vertical video feeds last year, saying that at the time that, quote, "We know that swiping through a vertical feed on social media apps is an easy way to browse video content," end quote. The new mobile UI will start rolling out this Thursday in Australia, Canada, India, Malaysia, Pakistan, the Philippines, South Africa, the UK, and the US. The updated mobile app still opens the Home tab, but the bottom navigation bar has new tabs. It now includes Home, Clips, Search, and My Netflix. Tap over to Clips, and the app will show you a clip from something it thinks you're interested in. The UI that you see in a clip is quite similar to what you see in a TikTok video or an Instagram reel, including buttons for sharing the clip and adding the movie or show to your queue. To start, the Clips feed will only feature movies or shows and movies, but down the line, Netflix says it will add clips from its growing library of podcasts and live events to the Clips feed. Netflix also plans to add a collections tab to Clips so you can watch clips themed around topics like comedy or reality TV. So, long story short, Netflix is adding a TikTok feed inside of their app on mobile. About a week later, this is what happened. From Ryan Christoffel at 95Mac, Clips is a scrollable short-form vertical video feed that Prime Video first tested for NBA coverage, but now is launching widely, quote, expanding to include moments from movies and series across the Prime Video experience. Per the press release, to get started, scroll down to the Clips carousel on the Prime Video mobile homepage, tap any clip. You'll enter a full-screen vertical feed with more personalized clips to browse. From any clip, you can watch the full title, rent or buy it, subscribe to access it, save the title to a watch list, or like the clip and share it with a friend. Every time you visit the experience, you'll see something new based off of your viewing history. So the format is so powerful that these big apps feel they need to do it on the phone as well. Benji, I want to hear your thoughts about this because we've talked about this a lot on the show. And then Andrew, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well.
Yeah, the demand is forcing these platforms to do it. You know who doesn't want short clips?
Who's that?
The actors and actresses, the directors, the studios. Why? First off, the whole profession, the whole craft is based off of putting out this complete project.
Yes.
So if you break it down to clips, it's like, what are we even doing here, right? It's kind of like a chef cooking like a whole dish, and you're like, I'm just gonna eat this one French fry. Like, you know, a chef gets pissed when the plate comes back, okay, and it's full of food. Well, also, that's part of the business model. You watch the whole thing, so there's licensing right to that, not the little clips. And that's what's interesting about even what we talked about before this, how I didn't think it was going to be worth it to do short form until it is worth it to do short form because they were also forced to do it. So to me, like, you know, like the big story, I don't know if you heard this, Disney put out High School Musical as these short clips.
I heard that.
And the whole thing, you can watch it.
Yeah, start to
Think about
finish.
this. You and I are like old enough to know, like, if you want to watch a movie, you want to watch it on the biggest screen possible. So why would you ever want to watch any of these things on a short little thing?
90-minute movie.
But guess who wants to watch it? It's not just kids. It's literally everybody that's on there. The only reason they had to go to YouTube or to Netflix or to HBO or to even television was because they didn't even have the ability to watch these things on these shorter apps. Maybe if you were breaking the rules, you were putting out High School Musical as just like a random user. But, you know, I don't even know like if TikTok regulates all this. But now that Disney's like, you know what, forget it. We're just going to commit. We're going to do it. Now you can watch a whole High School Musical, or at least like a big portion of it, through this vertical clips kind of experience. And if the algorithm's good enough, I'm assuming it's one after the other, or if you have a playlist.
It's a good question.
Because people are okay just getting that vertical little clip. So it's just everybody moving on, maturing, evolving. And it's not like one or the other. It's like wherever you want to. All these questions, it's all depends. That's the answer I give. Like people are like, hey, should I do this platform or should I do this format? Well, it depends. Should I go all in on, you know, long form or short form? It's like, oh, it depends. So when I see these reports, it's their hand being forced because the market is demanding it, and not even actively demanding it, passively just staying on TikTok. They're like, yo, we need to give them what they're getting over there. Guess who fell into this forced hand first? YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts was not something what's seriously considered a decade ago, I don't think, right? Even when Musical.ly was coming up. I don't know. Did you hear anything internally? We sign a lot of NDAs, so we have to be careful what we reveal, don't.
But I guess the thing is, you could put any video on YouTube. So you could have put a vertical video on YouTube of any length that you want, but there was no YouTube Shorts branding or platform.
And there was no
or
behavior of watching that either.
As well as an algorithm specifically designed for swiping, which is another big piece
Exactly.
of that.
That's true too. So I always say, like, you have to think about every platform natively and then upload natively for the behavior and the way people use it. Okay. So once they created that Shorts tab, it was like game over. And so I think that YouTube Shorts basically just did the thing that everyone is now having to do. And that's what you're seeing right here. But guess what? Still pisses off the actors and actresses. Directors probably don't like it, but it's a necessary evil to play this game. Because what would you do, like, if you watch a really dope clip of a movie or a show on there? you might go and watch it on the actual platform or in the actual format.
It's at least more likely.
More likely. It's like an advertisement at that point.
Yeah.
So they're like, if it gets me like 50% more views on the actual thing, I'm willing to do it. That's my thought on it. Because again, it doesn't make sense for their business model, because I don't think it's gonna up their subscriptions, but what it might do is retain some people. Instead of going over there, they're like, you know what? Because I actually do this. I like watching like Star Wars content on YouTube. On YouTube.
Yeah.
Not on Amazon or whatever. But if Amazon gave me these deep dives into, like Star Wars culture and lore or whatever, I might stay on there.
But here's the counter argument to that, right? Which is that, like, who's better at that than social media, right? Because if you think about it, there's like people who are doing video essays about Star Wars. There are people who are breaking down clips and telling you behind the scenes. There's no way that they're going to be able to
counter
hire.
argument. That is a good argument. That I don't think they are going to do it better.
Yeah, and so to me, I'm like, this is what Doc Rock says in the chat, some real-time follow-up. Not going to work. Would be better if they put those clips on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok and sent people to Netflix after the fact. Also, they should make Stranger Things, Bridgerton, etc. communities where fans could gather and talk shop. Andrew, what are your thoughts?
It's interesting. I think it's a kind of like going off what Benji said. It's like a necessary evil. I don't know. I still feel... I'm one of the people that think it's vertical swiping, scrolling is pretty dangerous to your mental health.
Interesting.
And so, plus, these are advertisements. That's pretty much what this is. Advertising, I also feel like is pretty dangerous. We're subjected to it all the time, but like to choose to be advertised to while you're standing, that sounds crazy to me. But what's interesting, the necessary evil part is that 6 years ago during the pandemic, when people started getting really into short form, a lot of the people were teens, right? Well, those teens are adults now who are signing up to Netflix, signing up to Amazon. That's a good point. They grew up on vertical. So now they expect vertical. So if they're signing up for something like a Netflix or Disney Plus, where's the vertical feed? Right? If I'm spending hours per day on vertical feeds, that obviously means I enjoy it, right? So if I'm signing up and paying for something, I can go here for free, right? I can go to TikTok for free. I can go to YouTube for free. And I'm going to pay for a service, a video service. I'm going to expect to have a better experience on the paid stuff.
Very true.
Right? And that's going to include the format that I use it in because I'm on my phone all the time. Do you know how many people have phones now that don't have TVs?
Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy.
It's if I'm on my phone, let me hold my phone comfortably, make it vertical. But it's also interesting that if you look at another industry, it's also been affected by like modern times, which is music. The reason so many songs these days, the average length of a song is so much shorter now, is because they get paid by stream. So back in the day, Bohemian Rhapsody, what was that, like 8 minutes long or something? Or like November Rain, like 7 minute long songs. You have to have someone's attention for 7 minutes to get that whole stream. So now it's like, hey, 2 minutes, we're in and out, and I got now if you want to put it on repeat, I'm going to get paid for every repeat.
Well, you get 3 replays, right? Versus 1 play.
Exactly.
If you have a 2-minute song versus an 8-minute song.
So now you're getting paid 3 times.
Yeah.
Because they don't pay by length listen, they pay by stream.
Yeah.
It's just interesting how the behaviors that smartphones kind of allow for changes the art that's being made because of how the compensation for that art happens.
Yes. And also, I think that it goes the other way too. The fact that these platforms exist also change how the marketing is being done because people are so used to it, to both of your point as well, right? I think about it in the frame that you actually brought it up in before when you were talking about your experience on short form and how it was a business decision. Well, this is to your point about the creators not really liking this, that you create a whole long movie, you're clipping it down to these things that are meant to be viewed vertically on your phone for like 30 seconds instead of 2 hours. Well, that's the ultimate business decision, right? Because guess what? As a creator, if they really thought through the entire process, well, would they rather have the viewership in the actual app themselves, right? In the actual Amazon app, in the actual Netflix app, and then the possibility of them clicking through and watching the movie? Or would they rather it be clipped into 100,000 things, put on TikTok, and be lost into the void because there's no way to get through to the actual thing, right? It's actually some other like third-party person who's just clipping them and getting the views and not getting any attribution, right? Well, definitely the former, right? You definitely would want the former in that case, right? And so to me, I think it's something that you said, Andrew, which is that it shows you the power of the device that you're being viewed on first and foremost, right? We talked about this, I think, last week, if not the week before, which is that as a creator, if you're choosing where you want to put your energy first in terms of platform, one question you should probably ask yourself is, what device do you want to be seen on? If you want to be seen on TV, YouTube is a really good place to start, right? If you want to be seen on the phone, TikTok is a great place to start, or Instagram is a good place to start. And so thinking about where you want to be seen, and then again, actually, maybe even more important to your point, Andrew, the business case for it is, I think, the sort of ultimate good overall. Any final thoughts?
No, you said it. I think at the end of the day, though, you know what I think about? Just general human behavior and what have we loved to do for thousands of years. And we like to sit around and enjoy stories for a long period of time. I mean, who says like, oh, I like to show up at a movie theater, walk in with my popcorn, watch something for 60 seconds and walk out. In fact, were you like this? I liked it when the movie was 3 hours long. I'm like, I felt like I'm getting way more ROI. I'm going to get a really cool story. I just watched Apple. Yeah, but you don't think like that as a kid, but it's human behavior.
Yeah.
I just watched Avatar, which I watch in my hotel room because I get free movies in my hotels, right? 197 minutes. I had to like do the calculation. I'm like, this is like almost 4 hours, right? Loved the whole thing. And I was thinking like, I literally took breaks between the different nights I was there and I was able to, okay. Now think about that. That wouldn't work on TikTok.
No.
But I 100% loved all 197 minutes. I thought it was going to be too much. No, it was amazing because you could tell a way better story. So this is going back to my thing. I'm not trying to say like, this is how right I was. I learned this from Judy, right? At the end of the day, don't just follow the money. Don't just follow the opportunities. Those are critical parts of our business, of course. That keeps us going, right? That keeps the lights on, bills paid. Follow your own heart and instinct because usually that will be the same heart and instinct other people have on earth too. And so creatively, when you do that, and what we've kind of learned is storytelling is such a big deal. And whatever tells the best story, the best way, and the most people enjoy, that's the way I'm going to do it. And that's where I feel like short form really, no pun intended, fell short of that until it's not. And that's why like people like Alex Key, the TikTok creator doing longer vertical videos, I think not only is winning, but is going to continue winning big because that's what people want. Now they don't have to leave TikTok. So set aside Prime or Netflix or whatever. What's funny about both of those platforms, you know why I love them? Great movies are on those platforms.
Yes, yeah.
That I can't get even on YouTube, you know? That's where I think like YouTube weirdly fell short, and this must be licensing or like whatever happens in Hollywood. They could have had all these movies there.
They do
Right?
have a way of purchasing movies on
I know,
YouTube,
but
okay.
I'm just saying like there was a business model I think that was hugely missed. That if they got that, because you talk about how significant the TV is to YouTube's growth right now, imagine if I didn't have to leave YouTube. I could just go from watching my favorite vlogger to now it's like popcorn time. I'm ready to sit on the couch for 2 or 3 hours, just watch that movie. Then it's like from the cradle to the grave in a sense, you know?
Basically having the Netflix, but on YouTube is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, I know it's not their business model, but I'm telling you, I think people would have done it. Something happened. I don't know what it was. Maybe money.
I want to talk about the next topic here, which is one of the ones that I was excited to have you on for, Andrew, because we're going to put a topic to bed. And this is maybe the first time we've ever put a topic to bed. At the beginning of the show, we talked a lot about AI and the video generation buzz that was happening all throughout. I would say 2025 was kind of the first peak here. One of those consistent topics was Sora 2 in particular. And back in March, OpenAI unexpectedly announced that they were going to be shutting Sora down, which I have here. This is from Cade Metz at the New York Times, who says, OpenAI is shutting down Sora, the video generation technology the company unveiled in 2024, shocking entertainment executives with its ability to use artificial intelligence to quickly produce short videos that looked as if a Hollywood studio had made them. Just 3 months ago, OpenAI and Disney signed a 3-year licensing deal, allowing Sora users to generate videos with Disney characters like Mickey Mouse, Cinderella, and Yoda. The agreement was considered a watershed for the tech industry in Hollywood, and some worried that it was the first big step toward replacing the entertainment industry's actors and creators with AI. OpenAI is shutting down both its Sora consumer app and the internet service that the movie makers and other professionals use to generate images for movies, television, and other media, the company said. Now, I know we're late to the news here, but like I said, I wanted to use this chance to put it to bed. We wanted to save it for you, Andrew. So if I remember correctly, you did a lot of experimenting over there on Sora, so I'm wondering about what your thoughts are.
I think this is a casualty of the chip crisis.
Oh, interesting.
So, if you think of OpenAI, they have ChatGPT, which is the LLM. They have image generation. They have Codex for coding. They had Sora. So basically, they have a bunch of stuff, and they have a limited number of machines to run all this stuff on. Video generation is, out of all those things, the most intensive. So if they can shut down Sora and then repurpose all those machines to other use cases, it's probably a great idea. Because especially over the past few months, we've seen the coding prowess of these models, both Claude and ChatGPT, explode. Like, they are really good.
Yeah.
To the point where I know developers who are like, they've been developers for 20 years are like, I haven't written a line of code in months. I just like make sure it's right. You know what I mean? This is my employee now. I think that's the big thing that's happening with LLMs, as well as agents. So agents is, there's a difference. So ChatGPT is like, I ask a question, I get an answer. An agent is, I give a task and it goes to work and it does it. So, and not even just coding. Like, what was I doing yesterday? I had an agent basically go out, look at this folder of video files that are all just the default, 0054.mov, whatever. Like, look at some frames of each of these video clips and rename all of these to what this video is about.
Oh, that is sick.
Yeah, and so I just hit, go do that. And I'm working in my browser, it's doing something over there, and then 15 minutes later, everything has a name that makes sense to the clip, right?
That is really cool.
So that takes like hardware inference, basically, is what it's called. Now, Sora was, I feel like, getting in the way of the AI agent thing. There was like different paths you could go here. Sora felt like a toy. It was a fun toy, but it felt like a toy. And agents feels like this is where the money is. This is the future of what AI really is, like revealing what AI can be.
Yes.
You can just spin up agents on your literal computer. You don't even have to, you can turn off your Wi-Fi. You can have it on your literal computer and have it do stuff for
crazy.
you, right? So I think that was the pivot. Now, Sora also, like I was listening to what you were saying. In the beginning, it was like, oh, this is Hollywood level quality. But after a few, you're like, oh, I can see.
Yeah.
I can see the difference.
I
can
agree.
tell.
That stood out to me.
But that doesn't mean that AI video is going anywhere. If you look at what Seed Dance is doing, have you heard of Seed Dance 2.0?
A little bit, yeah.
Benji, you heard of Seed Dance 2.0?
Yeah, I have.
Oh my God. You will not, this is indistinguishable.
Wow.
If you put in the right prompt, like people, they had to delay the release because this is a Chinese model, and I don't know how copyright works in China, but people were putting in
not
like
existent.
Okay, so people were putting in like Terminator versus Superman, right? Like just totally different, IPs, and DC versus Marvel, and getting what looks like a Hollywood movie, like just in front of
Tom
your eyes.
Cruise fighting Keanu Reeves.
Yes, and it looks like it.
That's crazy.
Even the
looks like it.
mannerisms
Yeah.
of the
Yes.
individuals. That's a hard one to get, because sometimes it's generic, their body movements, but no, it was getting their swagger and their style and their personalities.
Yes. So
and they weren't being prompted to get that. It was just smart enough to know to
exactly.
match what Tom Cruise looks like when he's fighting a bad guy, when he's fighting Keanu Reeves, and vice versa.
Which tells you that they had to import that into the model. So it's just like any other AI model, which is like I don't know if taking is a very liberal way of saying it.
Yeah.
Taking content that doesn't belong to them to train the model for this output.
Well, that's the thing. If it's out on the internet, it's
That's
up
true.
for grabs. Not saying that's wrong or right.
Right. No, you're
It's
right.
just the reality.
Yes.
That's true. So I do think, I think OpenAI made the right decision. I think agents is really where they should be concentrating. And they have made some huge strides, I feel like, in the last maybe like month. Because Claude was like in the far lead when it came to agents in particular.
Yeah.
And now OpenAI is back, I feel, in the lead now. But from the AI video generation perspective, it's still full speed ahead over there. It's just not with OpenAI, which is fine.
Interesting.
And I think that is something that we really need to pay attention to as content creators. Because again, if they can get Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves to look perfect, right? If you go to Seedance and you say tech creator reviews phone, it's gonna give you Marquez Brownlee.
Yeah, of course.
And I mean that, like, if it's not his face, it's gonna be a random face with his literal voice.
Yeah.
Like, you can try it. It's ridiculous. So we need to be aware of that. Not only that, we need to be aware that any brand now that has a product that wants to work with creators can just create a creator with their keyboard.
Yes.
Give me a creator. It's Black History Month. Give me 5 black creators and 2 that, look with freckles and this and that, and then take a picture of your product, insert this into their hand and have them say this script. And literally 30 seconds later, you have your brand deal video without having to pay a creator.
That's crazy.
Right? This is coming. This is happening. I saw someone 2 days ago. What they did was, so they're a content creator, and they looked at an ad on, I believe it was Instagram. It was a great ad. And they said, they took the ad, they took the link to the ad, they put it in a video generation AI. They said, watch this ad. Here's my face and here's my product. I want an ad just like this, but tailored to this product with starring me. 30 seconds later, they're walking the same way.
That's crazy.
Now, it's a totally different ad. Like, I think the ad was for like juice, and the product they were advertising for, it wasn't food at all. But it was more the idea of, this is a really well-made ad, and the movement and the graphics and everything. So I want something just like that, but with me in it. And you put in a prompt and you have it. So this is another of those frontiers where I feel like it's like a signal to me. It's like, okay, I need to pay really close attention to this. It's more confusing to me though, because it's not so obvious to me where it's like, oh, TikTok, okay, I'm used to talking about something for 8 to 12 minutes. What point am I gonna make in 1 minute or 40 seconds? I have to kind of think about that. This is like, I don't know where we go with this or what to do. Like, I feel like if I could just erase it from the world, that would be what I would do, but we can't.
Yeah.
Right? This is happening. This is coming. It's not something that I feel like we can just shut our eyes to and be like, okay, that's over there, I'm over here. Like, it's going to affect us one way or another. I don't know what way that is or how to get ahead of it yet. But it's here. I'm curious if you guys have ideas, because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Benji, I want to hear what you're going to say about this, because I feel like this is a really rich conversation.
In relation to Sora, first off, I never heard that take about the chips. Totally makes sense, because I like to read up on what's going on in that part of the world, like Silicon Valley and tech industry. And I've been hearing there's just been a lot of competition because everybody wants to be king of the hill. So number one, it shows you what happens when you have a lot of money and a lot of attention. You try to do everything, right? Mm-hmm. And the second part, I think, is even more true in relation to that. Everyone's figuring out what they're the best at, and everything else doesn't matter, right? In the case of OpenAI, everyone was creeping up on that top spot, right? Because OpenAI just was spread too thin. It kind of like was like this like darling child of the industry. Like it like led the way. And I even think I have my own thoughts about the CEO. Like I feel like he got put into a position of stardom that maybe wasn't even like rightly earned, in the sense that there's other people that are even better than him, but he was just perfectly positioned in the perfect company and just got that spot. And he took his eye off the ball. Because then they had these like damage control meetings like, hey, yo, Gemini's on our butts, Claude or whatever. And like you said, they maybe righted the course again. And then you got these other companies doing all that. In relation to AI content, I've been saying this from the beginning when it was really bad. Even when Andrew gave me the Sora code, and I put in there, make me a Dragon Ball character, and I'm like lifting up an asteroid and then throwing it. My mind was blown. And I knew that it was all AI, right? I wasn't even tricking myself or think I was going to trick anybody else. But the guy on the All In podcast, Palapatia, what's his name?
I don't know.
He's like the East Indian guy on All In podcast. He's like this.
Oh, Chamath.
Chamath. Okay. This is the worst we're ever going to see it.
Yep.
It's only going to get better. So other people, I'm not saying this is you, Andrew, wish it wasn't here. Wish it could just go away. You know what I know? Just like I wasn't a big fan of TikTok and I didn't want to go into short form, I knew it wasn't going to go away. So ultimately we did play that game. Because I knew that if it's this good, it's only going to get better. There might be some limitations or some evolutions, but you have to live in the reality that this exists and it will be competition. Just like when shorts came into YouTube, I didn't be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm totally safe. No, that was like 50% more competition in YouTube because now people have options. AI is 100x more so. Because, one of my big fears is, guess what? Guess who has a lot of content out there for it to be taken?
You and Judy.
Me and Judy, right? Well, how do you fight back all the deep fakes and people creating avatars that look like you or like you? One of the things that makes Judy special, we just got this special opportunity, right? With a huge brand because of Judy's reputation and how she's known in the industry. That's because she's so well known and she's done all this stuff. Well, say they don't want her to be doing the opportunity. They want someone like her. Well, these software or these apps can do it. So my thought is this for a creator, because, that's who we speak to on this podcast. You have to think about how are you going to become irreplaceable? I feel like we're going full circle to your story about writing. I feel like writing is a underrated skill even to this day, even in the context of AI, because what writing does is it takes all your random thoughts and formalizes them so that you can speak a message or communicate something, and that's your voice. The better you're at that, the better your voice is, and the more people feel connected to you. Guess what? You can still do that better than AI, but you can't beat them making you look like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, right? Like, we can't do that. Even with all the resources, it doesn't make business sense to try to do it. So don't try to fight it. Do the one thing that makes you a creator at the very core, which is not just your voice, but your humanity. So what's crazy is when vlogging came back like 4 or 5 years ago, who would have ever thought that's actually the beginning of the counter to AI? This is why I'm all in on live streaming. AI doesn't, we just talked about computer chips. AI cannot keep up with a live stream that goes for 2 hours for now. But what I'm saying is this, if that's for now, then you better believe you better start doing it now. Don't be like, you should have done it. No, I have been doing it and I'm already because everybody else is going to play the catch up game. So this was funny. This is where maybe Andrew and I am in the unique position of maybe like sharing with him something that he might not be doing. I was like, I think live streaming is going to become even more significant because in the time where they can't create live streams, AI, that'll be the thing that sets you apart. And guess who benefits from it? Your audience. Your audience gets to hear more from you. They get to connect with you more often. That's why I like cut my vlogging 50%, even though that's part of my business model, and went all in on live streaming. This is why we're working with Ecamm, because I feel like this is the beginning of not only a growth in live stream, a necessity in the creator journey to set you apart from all that. So I can't read the future. I always boil it down to like, what are humans doing and what will they continue to do and do more so even after the trends and the fads and everything? They're going to want to connect with real humans. You just said you can still sniff out like a Sora video or like AI video. That'll always be the case, because even if you can't, say you're tricked 100%, once somebody tells you, do you know that's an AI influencer? Once that like gets revealed, I don't want to touch that, right? It's like, ooh, it's kind of icky. Now, I'm not saying it won't work. There will be people that are okay looking at this like dime piece model looking influencer that's always perfect, and you can type a little something in and make it look the way you want it to or whatever, and be okay with it. I just think, generally speaking, there's something about the flaws of being a human that make you more connected. And I learned that at the beginning of YouTube, when Judy, who was not a professional makeup artist, didn't work in the industry, is connecting with 1 million women all over the planet. And it wasn't because she's perfect, it's because they were kind of like her. That has never gone away. And so that's why I'm like really confident, where it got almost doom and gloom, like the way you're talking, but you're just laying it down the way it is. I'm actually like optimistic if you think of it this way. The more you're out there, the longer your content is, the more you're connected with what people actually care about, the more you're protected from AI. Because you know what is bad about AI and being able to type something out? Everyone's going to do it. Mm-hmm. Not everybody can go on camera on the fly, make a little mistake and keep going, right? Like you do with the wrestling related type of content. Not everybody can, do a live stream and be okay making a mistake and a flub and just kind of move on with their day. That's going to be even more valuable skill, because so many people are relying. You know where you first started seeing this? Filters. Filtering their face.
Very true, yeah.
Right? That was the first
Well, like
AI.
Snapchat augmented reality
And then
filters
you show
on
up in
people's faces.
person and you don't look like that?
Right.
That kills the whole vibe. And those people, when they get asked to show up to events, they don't show up because they don't look like that.
What?
Yes.
Crazy.
Because they're like, their fans will show up. They're like, that ain't who I thought I was watching all these days. You know where I realized it just recently? I went to an event and a fan wanted to take a selfie with me, and they held up their phone to take a selfie, and it made me look like a girl because they had they had the filter on, the beauty filter. Now they are a girl, so it makes them whatever. But it also did that to me, and they awkwardly realized in that moment when they hit the shutter button. And in that moment, I go, this is the rest of the world trying to do the shortcut where I'm at peace with how I look. Yeah. And the more you're at peace with that, and then the 100x that, the better off you'll be. That's my long rant about how to compete against AI, not only as a creator, but as a human.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, which is that I think we're sort of slowly inching our way there, right? Like Benji said, I do think that this brings us full circle actually to the very beginning of the conversation, because live stream is one step towards that direction. The ultimate step is the thing that we talked about, what you guys do, which is do in-person stuff, like you just talked about with that creator, right? Because as far as we know right now, there's not the holograms that we need and not the robots yet that are able to do those things. And so that's one way to stay ahead of the pack, so to speak. And, to me, I think that is the thing that maybe will begin to separate some people from other people, which is the ability to sort of have some proof in some way or another that they are someone who's actually physically there and very real. And ultimately for you, Andrew, that's what you experienced at the beginning of what you said at the beginning of your blogging career, right? Is that when you were blogging and people maybe started to kind of identify with the brand name, that you recognized that it was your humanity that needed to shine through when you went to YouTube, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm curious to round out that conversation before we close out the show. Any final words on the AI stuff?
Yeah. I think ultimately, just like any other new thing, there's good and bad. As a person, if I separate myself from being a content creator, I think it's pretty cool. I think the fact that, again, taking any business stuff aside, any copyright stuff aside, if I'm 10 years old and I can have Batman versus, whatever, Naruto, right? How incredible. And I can just direct it. And like,
This coming from the guy that got sent cash in the mail to write a script out on a fictional character. Now you don't have to be a fictional character, and a robot can do it on a phone, on an app. 100%. I 100% agree.
Like, and I feel like it opens up, like, sure, it can take over creativity in some ways, but it also, for the right person, opens up your creativity, right? So I feel like there's good there. As the content creator is where I'm more worried, because I feel like any content I make, I am giving to my competition. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I make this content just for you to suck it into your model, and then now
That's crazy.
everything that I've said, every cool shot that I came up with, you can just replicate, right? So it's, again, we're at a new frontier. We're at the very, 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 very beginning of it. It's like a nervous excitement that it gives me. It's like, I am nervous about it, but I'm also like, bring it on. You know what I mean? It's almost like if you're going into a boxing fight or something. Like, I'm nervous about it, but come on, let's go. Let's do it.
Or you're going to like hit Bob with a slap.
Exactly.
And even though
Again,
it's third degree
another-
black belts in front of you, you're like, I got this.
The velocity. It's all about the velocity.
Speaking of someone who's been at the cutting edge of a lot of these technological movements, we've been ending the show by reading from the Steve Jobs Archives project, Letters to a Young Creator, which is their project where they take some of the world-renowned just people in the entire planet and ask them to write letters to folks who are at the beginning of a new creative pursuit. I feel like as creators, whether it's your first time being a creator or whether you're 20 years in or more, you're always at the beginning of something new, as we just discussed. And so today I wanted to read from Johnny Ive. Johnny Ive says, "Hello, I thought it may be useful to reflect on my time working with Steve Jobs. His belief that our thinking and ultimately our ideas are of critical importance has helped inform my priorities and decision-making. Since giving his eulogy, I have not spoken publicly about our friendship, our adventures, or our collaboration. I never read the flurry of cover stories, obituaries, or the bizarre mischaracterizations that may have slipped into folklore. We worked together for nearly 15 years. We had lunch together most days and spent our afternoons in the sanctuary of the design studio. Those were some of the happiest, most creative, and joyful times of my life. I loved how he saw the world, the way he thought was profoundly beautiful. He was without doubt the most inquisitive human I have ever met. His insatiable curiosity was not limited or distracted by his knowledge or expertise, nor was it casual or passive. It was ferocious, energetic, and restless. His curiosity was practiced with intention and rigor. Many of us have an innate predisposition to be curious. I believe that after traditional education or working in an environment with many people, curiosity is a decision requiring intent and discipline. In larger groups, our conversations gravitate towards the tangible, the measurable. It is more comfortable, far easier, and more socially acceptable talking about what is known. Being curious and exploring tentative ideas are far more important to Steve than being socially acceptable. Our curiosity begs that we learn. And for Steve, wanting to learn was far more important than wanting to be right. Our curiosity united us. It formed the basis of our joyful and productive collaboration. I think it also tempered our fear of doing something terrifyingly new. Steve was preoccupied with the nature and quality of his own thinking. He expected so much of himself and worked so hard to think with that rare vitality, elegance, and discipline. His rigor and tenacity set a dizzyingly high bar. When he could not think satisfactorily, he would complain in the same way I would complain about my knees. As thoughts grew into ideas, however tentative, however fragile, he recognized that this was hallowed ground. He had such a deep understanding and reverence for the creative process. He understood creating should be afforded rare respect, not only when the ideas were good or the circumstances were convenient. Ideas are fragile. If they were resolved, they would not be ideas, they would be products. It takes determined effort to not be consumed by the problems of a new idea. Problems are easy to articulate and understand, and they take oxygen. Steve focused on the actual ideas, however partial and however unlikely. I had thought that by now, there would be reassuring comfort in the memory of my best friend and creative partner and of his extraordinary vision. But of course not. More than 10 years on, he manages to evade a simple place in my memory. My understanding of him refuses to remain cozy or still. It grows and evolves. Perhaps it is a comment on the daily roar of opinion and the ugly rush to judge. But now, above all else, I miss his singular and beautiful clarity. Beyond his ideas and vision, I miss his insight that brought order to chaos. It has nothing to do with his legendary ability to communicate, but everything to do with his obsession with simplicity, truth, and purity. Ultimately, I believe it speaks to the underlying motivation that drove him. He was not distracted by money or power, but driven to tangibly express his love and appreciation for our species. He truly believed that by making something useful, empowering, and beautiful, we express our love for humanity. My sincere hope for you and for me is that we demonstrate our appreciation of our species by making something beautiful. Warmly, Johnny. Benji, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, more important to learn than to be right. You could be falsely thinking you're right when you're wrong, and it's better to leave your ego behind you and be wise enough to learn. That's a powerful statement there.
Andrew?
Yes. I love the part where he said ideas are fragile because they really are. And they can also be fleeting. Sometimes you might have a great idea. What was I thinking earlier today? I always have my my voice recorder ready to go on my action button just because of that. What is it? Just some quick idea. You just never know what it could turn into. It's like the whole butterfly effect that can come out of your brain and into the world.
Well, Andrew, thank you for being on the show. We turned this idea into its own reality. Make sure you check out Andrew's pages, which will be the links in the show notes, as well as his new creator coaching app at studio.com/Andrew. That's ANDRU. Of course, thanks to our sponsor, Ecamm, your Max Creative Studio. You can learn more about Ecamm at the link in the show notes, and you get 15% off and support the show with our code BenjiTV15. As always, thanks to the students of Vlogging Academy, and thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.